Alright guys, Papa Pepper here today in the garden, chilling with the tomatoes and stuff. Just having some thoughts recently and realizing things on a whole nother level. For those of you who have been following me for a while or really understand a lot of my backstory, I was just a single alcoholic drug addict, a very immoral man, didn't care too much for relationships, just tried to kind of just use people and move on, was what my life became a lot of. And it was lie, cheat, and steal, kind of whatever could benefit me at the moment, and who cares about anyone else. When I met Mama Pepper, I was terrified of her because I knew she was a girl I could really go for, and I didn't really want to really go for anyone. I preferred not really to care much. So I was terrified at that point. In the process of trying to know and love one another, we were introduced to the one true God, to his Savior Jesus Christ, and since then my life has been kind of an exodus from not only a very rough, immoral lifestyle, full of a lot of debauchery and wickedness, but kind of an exodus from just what's become the status quo, from what's become life here in America. I realized that the family had pretty much been divided and conquered, that now, the Industrial Revolution pulled men out of the homes, then the school system, government schools, pulled the kids out of the homes, the women's right movement pulled the women out of the homes, and now we have these empty houses that nobody owns, the banks own them all. We pay a fortune for an interest, and I tell my wife, till death do we part, and then I leave her, 5, 6, 7 days a week, and spend most of my life in an office when I'm not sleeping, or some sort of warehouse, or some sort of business. And I say, you know what, this ain't it. I encountered things in scripture, like when you rise up, when you lie down, when you walk by the way, and when you sit in your house, teach your children. I said, oh, okay. I read things like, it says, set your heart on my ways and command your children to do so. It's not a vain thing for you, it's your life, to teach them truth, to teach them commands of God, to teach them the true way to live this life, this world, how to exist in it. And then stuff like even, talking about in the Psalms about a blessed man, it says he eats the fruit of his labor. And what I realized is that I kind of had grown up in a society with a certain understanding, and I kind of did the society thing the right way, and also the polar opposite as far as society would be concerned, and the wrong way. And I said, you know what, neither of these are where it's at. So the reason that we came down to Arkansas was to drop the cost of living, to increase the quality of life, to try to avoid all debt, own things actually, save up for things, and set ourselves up. So the scope of this talk, I know I'm 3 minutes into it, but the scope of it is about being a provider. And because of interest, because of mortgages, because of rent to owns, with interest rates, because of all these things, it's become distorted, it's become twisted. Even when you do own something, you still have to rent it from the government with property tax, okay? I understand that, but there's a lot of things that we can avoid that people just don't. So here's where I'm at the moment, and this is why I'm in the garden. Okay, where I'm at the moment is that I have a certain responsibility as a parent to provide something for my children, okay? And if you think about it, we own our land right now. Last year on our land, I paid $34 in property tax, okay? It's part of the reason I moved to Arkansas, is that I could pick up land for $1,000 an acre in some places, and property tax was so low, okay? $34 on the acreage that we own. Now, I did buy a mobile home recently, and it's a temporary house for us. I'm either going to A, need to add on to it, or B, live there while we build something better. I'm not sure where the finances are going to be, but I'm not going to go into debt to figure out where the finances are. I'm either going to save up and build a house, or I'm going to save up and add on to it. And either way, I'm going to do it. It's not going to be at the cost of usury. It's not going to be at the cost of interest. It's not going to be, give me it now and I'll pay you a lot more than it's ever worth in the end, so you can own me. Okay, that's another thing I encountered. It says the borrower is slave to the lender. I don't want to be somebody's slave. I want to be a free man as much as I'm able to. And so I'm not going to choose to enslave myself to somebody to pay them a whole bunch extra just so I can have something now. So at this point, let's think about this. Own the land, own some place to live, at least that's going to work for the moment. And with that place to live for the moment, when we get moved onto our land, this is going to be our primary residence, see? So then there's a $350 homesteading credit, which will offset pretty much any property tax I'm going to be paying at this point. That's another good thing. That's incredible. So what I've done by doing this move, in my mind, as far as I understand, is I'm going to not owe anyone anything. I own the land, own the house. The homesteading credit will offset the property tax. Now I have no property tax that I'll be paying, of no rent that I'll be paying. I'll have no mortgage that I'll be paying. Those bills will just be crossed off the list. So if we got a place to stay, that's pretty good as far as, being a provider. And especially if we have a place to stay that's, by and large free. So as we transition from that point forward, well, what else does my family need? Okay, let's think. Yes, there's insurances and things like that, and trust me, just by not having insurance, you can get like a 66% discount sometimes on hospital bills. Okay, how does that work? Oh, you don't have insurance? Okay, here, we'll charge you less than half of what we would charge you if you did have insurance. That is insane, and that shows what a scam of a system the healthcare industry, the healthcare business has become. Okay, I don't want to play their games. But as far as providing, what we got is that we've got a place to stay. It's a cost-effective place to stay. Right now we've got shoes and clothing, okay? So food is the other big one. So when I read something like, a man will eat the fruit of his labor, there's been times when a man's labor would provide him with something he could actually eat. You guys have maybe seen me canning like mad lately, doing a lot of work, taking care of a lot of things. Put up like 54 jars of pickles this week, made a lot of stir fries, done a lot of stuff. Got another wonderful harvest to take care of today. Okay, it's coming in like crazy. Dehydrate those tomatoes, save them for later. The noodle beans are hanging everywhere. Okay, well, guess what? To me, since eating is something that my family pretty much should be doing on a daily basis, and if I'm going to be some sort of provider for my family, then perhaps something that I'm up to should have something to do with food. Okay, because some places you get taxed on food when you buy it at the store, some places you don't, depending on where you live. But either way, whatever money you're going to be spending to buy that food, you're going to get taxed on. I don't have to get taxed on what I grow. The money that I originally start out with, sure. And once I buy some seeds that are not from Monsanto, that I have, that I'm able to, just like people have forever, to be able to take those seeds and save them. Oh yeah, Monster Truck's pointing out to me right now, right? He's saying, Dad, here's your noodle beans. Okay, he gets this. He says, here's the ones you're letting go to seed. Okay, this is already, I can feel it. There. That right there. That's a noodle bean seed. That can be so much food for my family. And guess what the cost is for me? Nothing. I bought these seeds years ago for a couple of bucks. I've been running them and repeating them ever since on my own. Okay, these snake gourds that are doing awesome at feeding my family this year, and we get a meal out of like each one. Well, these big fatties over here that are past where we're going to be eating them, they're about 4 feet long right now. Okay, that's going to be the seeds for next year's crop. It's a simple life. I don't want to play these games. I don't want to play these games where I buy something that's a food stuff that's been completely modified and manipulated and exposed to all sorts of toxic chemicals that would normally kill it, but they played with it a little bit, so now it's resistant to all those things that would normally kill it and everything it encounters. And then they strip it and rob it of anything that's actually beneficial and natural and normal, and then they throw some stuff in there to replace whatever, so it comes up to a quality where they can actually call it a food stuff and people can eat it. Guess what? There's a lot of things that can run through my system that I can eat that aren't going to do me any good. Okay, I can swallow sand and pass it through my system. That doesn't mean it's a benefit to me. So when I get back to being a provider, to me, to be living a life where I'm out here with the plants, where I'm out here with the animals, where I'm able to take a stewardship of my family's health in a way that I normally wouldn't be able to, because your options at the store are limited. Okay. Or you can pay a whole lot more for some organic stuff, right? Which can also be interesting. So anyway, just to me, being a provider, this is what my family needs. My family needs food right now. I'm going to grow some food right now. I'm going to reduce my everything, except for, health and quality of life and stuff like that by doing this. So I don't know where you guys are at. I know you at least got yourself to take care of. Probably got some others too. There's no time like the present to start growing, start taking a greater, I don't want to say responsibility, but if you know what I'm getting at, kind of by hinting at that, a greater just concern, responsibility, stewardship, ownership of your own life, of your own health, of your own food supply, of being a provider for your family. It's a good time to start. So this is where I'm at. This is what we're up to. There's things that you can do, okay? Because my guess is that you're not a rat, which means you can get out of the rat race. You can do something else with your life. You don't need to be a spoke in your wheel. You don't need to be this guy's age and have people say, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? Which niche in our system, which spoke in our wheel do you want to fulfill? What sprocket do you want to be in the gears of the current machine that works for us, but not so much for you? You know what I want to be when I grow up? I want to be free. I want to be free to serve my God and be a husband and father the way that I should. So I'm working on that path right now. We'll see if I get there, but I'll tell you what. You listen to a little bit of what I already shared. I think we're heading in the right direction. All right, that's enough of a rant. Pop out. I got a harvest to attend to.
As always, I'm Papa Pepper, and I'd like to remind you, don't post for free. If you'd like to be part of a revolution in social media, an economic power to the people where users can actually blog for cryptocurrency, then I'd recommend that you check out steemit.com and join the revolution. Papa out.